Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, so that means it's the PW Unlimited Wednesday show, episode number 67. It is the 13th of March. Let's see who's with us so far in the live chat. We've got Mr. Jones is me, Lalo Cruz, Jonathan Powell, George John Cox, Gabriel Perez. We've got Derek Bocek, Woking King Slender, Daniel Eubanks, Luke Might, and more. What is going on, everybody? Now, disclaimer. Well, not really disclaimer, but a forewarning. We will be talking all the spoilers from everything that took place at tonight's NXT TV tapings, but I usually keep those till the end, so that way you guys can get the full show, and then when I say, hey, spoilers are coming, you know that the spoilers are going to come, and you're not going to really miss anything else afterwards if you don't want to hear the spoilers. So I will let you know when we're going into spoiler territory towards the back half for the last leg of the show. With that, we do got other things to talk about, like Ring of Honor's 17th anniversary show this week, as well as what we've got so far for WrestleMania. We know of a few different things so far. Some things that are already official, and some things that are going to be official over the next couple of weeks leading into WrestleMania. Also, we will be taking your calls and answering your questions right here live, as we always do. The numbers are in the live chat as I pull up the text message bin. Sometimes Chrome just wants to run super slow. If you want to send in your text message, you can do so at 510-906-1341. Text messages to 510-906-1341. If you want to call into the show in a little bit, we'll start taking calls. You can do so at 559-475-8473. Just want to say that in case people don't want spoilers, hence why I do the spoilers at the end of the show, try to keep them to a minimum in the live chat as well, just in case we've got people in here that don't want to see the spoilers. Crazy JJ asked if I am doing a review for the Ring of Honor 17th anniversary show this weekend. The show is taking place on a Friday night. I may be able to. I may have a prior engagement family deal already, but if that falls through, then we might talk some Ring of Honor on Friday night. I'll let you guys know ahead of time. So with that, again, if you do want to call into the show, you can do so at 559-475-8473. If you want to text your questions into the show or your concerns or your whatevers, you can do so at 510-906-1341. But we'll take calls in a little bit. First, we need to talk WrestleMania. WrestleMania is coming to us on April 7th. And, you know, we know of, let me see, I've got it written down here. Where's my notes? We know of a number of matches already for sure. And we know of a number of matches that are going to take place. So official on the card are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's already 6 matches official on the card. We know of at least 2 more that will be taking place since they were basically told to us last night. And I'll just run it down right now. So we know already for sure Shane McMahon will be taking on The Miz. We know that Kurt Angle will have his farewell match. We don't know who the opponent is, but it has been teased that it could be John Cena. Now, here's why I think it could be John Cena for a number of reasons. So, John Cena was Kurt Angle was John Cena's first opponent on the main roster. So, why not do all of that? Why not have Kurt's last match be with John Cena? And also, if you remember last year, right before Cena started doing all the Undertaker teases, all the Taker, I want you at Mania, he posted a photo of Taker on Instagram. Well, what did he do? I think it was yesterday. Posted a photo of Kurt Angle on Instagram. So I don't know if one thing leads to another, but John Cena may be the opponent for Kurt Angle. Also, with the Cruiserweight Championship on the line, we will have Buddy Murphy defending against either Tony Nese or Cedric Alexander. The winner will come, I believe it's next week on 205 Live. We have a no-holds-barred match with Triple H taking on Batista. And also, we got the Universal title on the line where Brock Lesnar will be defending against Seth Rollins. And in what I believe is going to be the main event of the show, for a triple threat Raw Women's Championship match with Ronda Rousey defending against Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. Now, other matches that we know are 99% going to happen. Randy Orton will be taking on AJ Styles. That encounter they had last night, that back and forth on the mics, that was great. And then we know that, Kofi is going to challenge Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. All Kofi has to do, is win a gauntlet match next week on SmackDown. And who does he have to defeat? The Viper, Randy Orton. The United States Champion, Samoan Submission Machine, Samoa Joe. I don't know why WWE doesn't use that nickname for him. The Bar, Sheamus, and Cesaro. He's got to defeat Rowan. Now, here's my question. That's 5 guys. Are the Bar going to be together? They didn't specify this. I assume not, but are the Bar going to be together so their portion is handicap? Or is it going to be Sheamus and then Cesaro or vice versa? That's something we don't know yet. But yeah, all Kofi has to do is get through a gauntlet match. Now here's my thing. Vince never said that the New Day were banned from ringside, that Xavier and Big E couldn't be there. Here's what I'm thinking. Throwing a spitballing idea out of there that's probably not going to happen because it's obscene, and well, not really obscene, but it's dumb. Maybe we could see the New Day go in there and keep attacking. What's it called? What's his name? Keep attacking Kofi. Keep attacking Kofi. And with them attacking Kofi, it keeps getting him disqualified, and then boom, he wins. They wouldn't do that because it's dumb. But I don't know why it came to my head last night. I was like, hey, maybe New Day just keeps, quote unquote, screwing Kofi. What really helping Kofi. Now, one other thing is they haven't announced the Battle Royals. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the Women's Battle Royal that we got both last year. And we've had the Andre the Giant since what? WrestleMania 32? We've had those since WrestleMania 32. Well, at least the men's. And I would assume, it's not like you have to do build for either of them. So they should have announced them this week on Raw or SmackDown. And then there we go. Just every week we can have another guy or another girl say, oh, by the way, we're in the Battle Royal WrestleMania. So, excuse me. So with that, those are everything we do know for WrestleMania. Again, the, what's it called? The Battle Royals. You're right. Gabriel Perez. It was WrestleMania 30. Yep. I was picturing it. I could see Cesaro at WrestleMania 30. There's purple everywhere. But for some reason, my mind said it wrong. I apologize. Everyone's let me know in the comments. I was wrong. It's all good. It happens. But we don't know if those Battle Royals are going to happen. And we would assume, so they get everybody on the show and also let some NXT people get on the show. But we'll see. It's something they can literally announce the week of. Like I said, they don't need to have any build for it. It's just, hey, we're doing the Battle Royals. So, we'll see. We'll see. But, again, WrestleMania should be fairly decent, just like it was last year. Excuse me. It's going to be long. It's going to be very long. We're going to get like a 2 or 3 hour pre-show. Then we're going to get a freaking, 5-hour main card? I mean, all I'm going to say is block out your entire day from, if you're living West Coast, to noon on. If you're living East Coast, maybe 3 on. Let me see if I do the math. Usually WrestleMania ends around West Coast time 9-ish. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah. So, yeah. It's going to be long. April 7th, 2019, from MetLife Stadium. And they like to say New York, but it's really New Jersey. But they can say WrestleMania is coming to New York because all the accompanying shows are in New York, Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So Derek Bochick says Birdie versus Monroe Sky Mania 50. Woken King Slender says 7 hours of WWE Network that day. Yeah, at least 7 hours. Unless you watch other stuff. So, Mr. Jones me says, what time does WrestleMania start? Pacific. I don't know exactly because it's WrestleMania, so it's not going to start at the normal pay-per-view time of a 4 p.m. Pacific. It could start at 3 p.m. Pacific for all we know. They haven't officially announced the start time because I think last year it might have been 3. So we'll see. Noob & Co. in the chat says, hey, Tim, are you still tired of the whole Becky, Charlotte, Ronda drama? Yes and no. I mean, I think the storyline itself, like, not the storyline, but the match and how they're going to do the match and all this other stuff, how the match is going to go down, it's going to be the main event, it's going to be a really good match. All that could have been really good. It could still be really good. But the issue is that they've done too much in the storyline. They've changed the story up too many times. It was super simple. You somehow get Becky in the Royal Rumble. She wins the Royal Rumble. Bada boom, she's in the match. Then all you got to do is figure out how to get Charlotte in there. They didn't have to do this pull Becky out bullshit and then do to get her right back in. No, they didn't have to do all of that. It was super laid out, super simple, super easy. But then they made it all convoluted with trying to change the storyline 50 times. Legend Stealer says Angle versus Dolph Ziggler at Mania. It'd be a good match, but I doubt it. Highly, highly doubt it. Dolph's like on a hiatus right now. Looking at the text messages. 713 says, what do you think would be bigger moment? Becky holding up the Raw Women's title at the end of WrestleMania, or Rollins holding up the Universal title surrounded by the Shield, or Kofi holding up the WWE title with a New Day? Becky, because that would mean that women were in the main event. Excuse me. The biggest thing they can do is put women in the actual main event, the final match of the night. That would get a lot of publicity, a lot of press, a lot of people talking. Oh my God, they let women go on last at WrestleMania. Women were the spotlight. Women were the main focus of the night because they were the main event. Now, is this match going to be the best match of the night? I don't know. I don't think, because there's other matches that could be better, like Kofi and Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton and AJ Styles. But as far as it's going to be the main event, it's going to go on last, so people will talk about that. You'll get all the different websites, not just the wrestling sites. You'll get some TMZs. You'll get the USA Todays. You'll get the, well, I don't know, Huffington Post maybe? I don't know. All those news websites talking about it, and we don't know if anyone's going to be going on talk shows the next day either. Last couple of years, they've gone on either Good Morning America afterwards, or they've gone on the Today Show. So we'll see if any go on either of those. I remember after WrestleMania 32 show ended, and then Charlotte, who was the women's champion at the time, and Roman Reigns, who had just won the WWE Championship back at the time, jumped on a jet basically as soon as the show ended, flew to New York, and they were on Good Morning America. So we'll see if any of that happens as well. It's another good publicity thing. If you got Seth Rollins coming out Universal Champion, you've got Becky coming out Raw Women's Champion, throw them on Good Morning America. Let them talk to Robin Roberts. That'll be pretty interesting. With that, 14 minutes in, let's take our first call. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, I have a few questions.
Go for it.
First, I have a question about WrestleMania.
Okay.
Like, I think there's, like, way too many rivalry matches and not, like, enough championship matches.
Here's my question to you, then.
Like,
yes, you want to... So my question to that would be, yeah, you know, get every title on the show if possible. But at the same time, what's wrong with rivalry matches?
I mean, like, nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think, like, WrestleMania has, like, a lot of matches right now. And, I mean, do you think that's, like, a bad thing, though?
What do you mean? That they have a lot of matches?
Yeah, like NXT, like takeovers, like they don't have a lot of matches. Those like for a good reason, so they can have like more time for the matches, so they can be like good matches.
Also, you got to think Takeover's not going to be a 5-hour long show. It's going to be 2.5, 3 hours max. WrestleMania, they go 5 hours with the main card, plus they put 3 matches on the pre-show typically. So they've got the time allotted for WrestleMania as far as they can add as many matches as they want because they've got that time. With TakeOver, they know the style of shows that the NXT does is suited for a 2.5, 3 hour show. You have matches that get a lot of time. That's the thing. The matches on NXT TakeOver usually get a good amount of time, so you don't do too many matches. With WrestleMania, if you want to give any matches a significant amount of time, then you're going to want to put a longer show on. Also with WrestleMania, you want to be able to give as many people an opportunity to wrestle on that show as possible. So that's another reason why it's going to go so long and have so many matches, so as many wrestlers in the company as possible do have the opportunity to wrestle at the biggest show of the year.
All right, I respect that. I also got one more question.
Okay.
What do you think about like Kofi, like in that gauntlet match that's going to take place next week? I mean,
as far as
people like in that, like the people like in that gauntlet match taking on Kofi. I mean, to be honest, if Kofi wins, then those other guys are probably going to be like look weak, like the Bar, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton.
Not necessarily. Did you think everybody looked weak in the gauntlet match a few weeks ago when Kofi basically went from start to the end and lost to Orton?
No, not necessarily. I mean, you want to build up Kofi.
Correct. Exactly.
Take on all those guys. Kofi wins. He has what it takes to take on Daniel Bryan and prove Vince McMahon wrong. Because right now, like it's like a storyline where like Vince McMahon is doubting Kofi. Like he doesn't believe in Kofi, so everyone else does. It's
the Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 31 storyline, or 30 storyline all over again. They don't think he's good enough, so he's got to prove that he's good enough.
Correct.
So, I mean,
all right, like final question.
Yep.
What do you think about like Dean Ambrose? Like, what do you think his match will be at WrestleMania?
That's a tough one. I want to say thank you for the call. You know, I don't know. Especially with Dean leaving at the end of April-ish. I believe it's around near the end of April. With Dean leaving, it's going to be tough to see what they do with him at WrestleMania. Whether they want to put him in a featured match, or whether they just say, hey, you're in the Battle Royal. Or, hey, we're going to put you in a match, but it's going to be like show opener or second match of the night where no one's really going to care. I hope they don't do something like that. But I don't really see Dean in any sort of a big featured match if he doesn't re-sign before WrestleMania, which is only 3 weeks away-ish, 3 weeks from this Sunday, and I don't see that happening. And the way WWE operates, if you're going to leave, if they know you're going to be gone, they're not going to give you any kind of featured program or featured match right before. Like, they killed him this week on Raw for a reason. They know he's leaving, so they're like, we can kill him. Let Drew McIntyre look strong as hell. So, I don't think they're going to do anything significant with Dean at WrestleMania. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do anything significant. I mean, maybe he can team with Reigns to take on Corbin and McIntyre, but I prefer to see Reigns versus McIntyre in a singles. Text message here says, do you think WWE will ever sign Christopher Daniels? He still can wrestle better than half of the roster. He doesn't want to go to WWE. He's got a nice job with AEW. He's a wrestler and he's working talent relations for them. There's no reason for him to come to WWE. He's in his early to mid 40s. He's got a nice job with AEW where he can retire there as far as finish off his career until he wants to stop wrestling. And if they're still around by that time, then he's got a backstage role just handed to him. And he's been doing agent stuff for Ring of Honor for years too, so he knows how to do that role and do it well. Hence why they've put him in that agent talent relations type of role. So with that. If anybody else does want to call in, 559-475-8473. Also, if you do want to give your thoughts through text message, 510-906-1341. Both numbers have been thrown into the live chat a couple of times. If you don't see it right now, just scroll up. It'll be there. Excuse me. Just looking at the chat, seeing what you guys are talking about. Slam Hub Wrestling says, after this week's SmackDown, do you think the WWE title match will end up a fatal four-way? No. It's going to be Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. That's what I believe. Why would it need to be a fatal four-way, and how would they get there is the question. A, it doesn't need to be. Now, I can see the U.S. title being a four-way. I think the U.S. title should be the ladder match. Add Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali, and that match would be golden. Hell, add Sami Zayn to the mix, too. Why not? But let's take a call. Caller in the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, what's going on?
Not much. What's up?
Oh, nothing much, but I wanted to ask our opinion about the tag team matches at WrestleMania. I was just thinking about this today. I'm wondering, because you mentioned something really interesting last night with Ricochet and Black being potentially both tag team matches. Do you think they would actually do that? Or do you think that, what do you think about that? Like the state of the two divisions right now at WrestleMania.
I don't think they would do that. They wouldn't have one team in both matches. I mean, they've teased that they're heavily involved in both tag team divisions. Yeah. But as far as them being in both matches, probably not. And with SmackDown having a stronger tag team division already, then you don't need to put them in the SmackDown. If they're doing the multi-tag team matches, you don't have to put them in the SmackDown one. You put them in the Raw one because Raw is where you need the extra tag team. So I would say, no, they won't be in both. But if they were going to be in one, they should be in the Raw one.
Yeah, I think they should be on the Raw one just because, like you said, the SmackDown tag team division is already good, even though the bar and the bars, not the bars, Gallows Anderson isn't used and Sandy's not used. But I think Aleister Black and Ricochet, they work good on both brands. I think they'll work a little better as a tag team on Raw because it just so the Revival can look strong and, guys like that look strong. But the second question is the SmackDown Live women's division is very floundering right now. Like not a lot of TV time for a ton of the women, and there has been no mention of a possible challenger for Asuka at Mania. I'm a little worried. What do you think is going to happen next 2 weeks? Do you think they'll do some sort of battle royal? Something determined?
It's a tough one because it's like there's not that many women on SmackDown anyways.
That are legit, at least.
Well, at all. There's really not that many women on SmackDown that I would consider challengers. I mean, you've got the Iconics. We already know they don't care about the SmackDown Women's Championship. They challenged Charlotte. They challenged Bayley and Sasha this week. As far as
Lana, she sucks. Well, no offense to her.
Right. I mean, the only one that I would think the only one that I've been saying that can give Asuka a good match would be Naomi. That's who I would go with.
For sure.
But I mean, there's a rumor that they want to do a lot of multi-person matches, so maybe we'll get a battle royal for the women's title, or we'll just get a multi-woman match for the women's championship. I mean, if you remember back to WrestleMania 33,
I think.
33 it was, both Raw and SmackDown had multi-women matches for their championships. So, I mean, with the Raw championship being a triple threat, maybe the SmackDown Women's title will be a triple threat too, and it's going to be Asuka versus Mandy and Sonya.
Yeah, I think like you said, how WrestleMania 33. I think the WrestleMania 33, the women. I think the Raw Women's title was done for a reason because at that time there wasn't a round. So Nia Jax, Bayley, and Sasha and Charlotte were your four biggest on Raw. But I think for SmackDown, it's kind of a similar situation. This year, they just don't really care about the belt, as of right now. and it's kind of compact, like 6 women or 20 women, no matter how many people were in that for like a 5-minute match. Like,
right. Because at WrestleMania 33, right, at WrestleMania 33, the Raw Women's title match was a 4-way. It was Bayley, Charlotte, Nia, and Sasha. The SmackDown Women's match was a 6-way. It was Naomi, Alexa, Becky, Carmella, Mickie James, and Natalya. So, I mean, they could always go multi-person for the SmackDown Women's Championship as well.
That's very true, though. But, however, I mean, this is just my personal opinion now. But, like, I wish Asuka, she's a very, very, very talented pro wrestler. I wish that she would have somebody better than, I mean, if they were going to multi, no offense to Mandy and Sonya, if Mandy, Sonya, Naomi's good. She's just not a legit contender because she's been looking very, very weak as the past couple months. And on top of that, she's gotten any TV time. So it's with 2 weeks. Go ahead.
Right, and I want to say thank you for the call. That's the thing with Naomi. It's not that she's been looking weak. It's more the fact that she just hasn't been seen at all. That they haven't been using her on TV pretty much since the start of the year. Like, I don't remember. When was the last time we even saw Naomi on SmackDown? Let me look this up. Like, it's been a while since we've seen Naomi. I'm going to look this up right here. Naomi matches. Naomi's last television match, other than Elimination Chamber. It's been a month, okay? It's been 5 weeks. And before that, they were just teaming her with Carmella for the Elimination Chamber and the Women's Championships. So, I mean, they haven't even used her. When was her last singles match on SmackDown? That wasn't, had to do anything as far as for those tag team things. Back in December, she was teaming with Lana. I mean, prior to Rumble, Naomi had 1 match against Mandy in 2019. And then in 2018, she was teaming with Lana in December 2018. So, I don't know. The SmackDown Women's Division's so kind of kerfuffled. It's just, it's hard. It's really hard to say right now exactly what direction they're going with that one. I'm just saying, throw them all together. Do another 6-pack challenge for all I care. Like, I'm not saying that I don't care because I want to see Asuka have a really good match. But at the same time, it's like, they've got no time to build anything unless they're doing Mandy, Sonya, triple threat. With that, let's shift and talk about Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor does have their 17th anniversary show coming up this weekend. And I just lost my notes. Where did they... Give me 1 second, guys. I had notes on this and it disappeared. Here we go. So this weekend, Ring of Honor is holding their 17th anniversary show. The show will be taking place from Sunset Manor, Nevada. It's basically Las Vegas. It's Sam's Town Gambling Hall. On this show, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches. Should be a pretty good show. Show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We've got Silas Young taking on Jonathan Gresham. We've got the Lifeblood team of Mark Haskins and Tracy Williams taking on the Kingdoms, Vinny Marseglia and TK O'Ryan. We've got Marty Scurll taking on Kenny King. Roosh taking on Bandito. With the ROH Television Championship on the line, Jeff Cobb against Shane Taylor. With the Woman of Honor Championship on the line, Mayu Iwatani will be defending against the former champion Kelly Klein. With the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships on the line in a no disqualification match, we've got the Briscoes defending against Villain Enterprises, Brody King and PCO. PCO in a no DQ match. Holy crap. And then finally, the main event does see Jay Lethal defending the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship against Matt Taven. I think that this show is going to be a great show to set up G1 Supercard as far as the Ring of Honor side goes. We're going to have some really good matches here. Rush and Bandito will not disappoint. I think Jay Lethal and Matt Taven are going to work really hard in that main event. You're going to see something crazy as hell from PCO in a no DQ tag team match. And then you got other guys like Marty Scurll and Kenny King. They're both going to really go out there and over-deliver. Silas Young and Jonathan Gresham. It's a tough one because Silas Young's not the greatest. I don't think Silas Young's that great. Jonathan Gresham, great technical wrestler, but he's in there with Silas Young. It's going to be tough. So I think this show should be good. We may be reviewing it on Friday night. I do have a prior engagement family-wise, but if that changes to, it might be changing to Saturday. If it does, then we will be doing I will be doing a review. But with that, just looking at it right now, if I were to give my predictions, my quick predictions, I'd say Jay Lethal retains the Ring of Honor World Championship. And also, the winner of that match will go on to defend their title at the G1 Supercard event in Madison Square Garden against Marty Scurll. At the 17th anniversary press conference, Marty Scurll cashed in his match. Marty Scurll had won the 2018, Survival of the Fittest tournament, where whenever he wanted, he can cash in a world title match. And he's cashing it in a G1 Supercard, which I kind of expected it because it may be Scurll's last big night for the company before his contract expires in April. So why not put him in a big featured match? I see the Briscoes retaining the tag team championships and then also going on to G1 Supercard and actually defending those titles against the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Guerrillas of Destiny, where both sets of tag titles will be on the line. As far as the Woman of Honor title goes, I guess you can keep it on Mayu Iwatani. I see Jeff Cobb retaining the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Bandito should go over Rush, in my opinion, since Bandito is challenging for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship at G1 Supercard. Marty Scurll, since he's the number one contender to the ROH title, should beat Kenny King. Jonathan Gresham should go over Silas Young. And then in a match that really, to be honest, doesn't matter which way it goes, Lifeblood in the Kingdom. That one really can go either way. Slam Hub Wrestling in the comments says, do you think Marty winning the title at Supercard? Heck no. His contract expires in April, and I'm almost certain he's going to leave and go to AEW. I mean, why wouldn't he? Leaves, goes to AEW. Maybe he could be Cody's opponent at Double or Nothing. Maybe that's why they can't announce it yet, but they can keep teasing it. Maybe it's Marty Scurll. I mean, we did see the thing where he took, excuse me, on Being the Elite, he took a picture of MJF's head and put it over a picture of himself, Cody that is, and Marty Scurll. So I do see Marty Scurll going to AEW as soon as his contract with Ring of Honor expires. I believe it's April. I have also heard early May, so we're not sure. But as far as that all goes, maybe he's Cody's opponent. Legend Steelers fan says Marty should sign with WWE. No, I don't think he should. He's good and all, but I think someone like him will really get lost. Nothing against him. Marty Scurll's one of the better wrestlers around right now. But I just think his size and his gimmick, Triple H may get it. But they ain't going to understand that on the main roster as far as Vince and his people running that show. And he'll get lost in the shuffle eventually. Plus, WWE has too many people. Why would he go to WWE when he already knows that he can go to AEW and be a featured guy there, like a big featured guy? So, that's what I think. And those are my predictions for this Friday night's Ring of Honor 17th anniversary show. The show will be on Honor Club, and I believe it should be on Fight TV as well. Let me double check that right now for you guys. Ring of Honor 17th anniversary, Fight TV. I could tell you guys in 1 second if that show is going to be on Fight TV. While we look that up in the chat, Gabriel Perez says, where's Kushida? Yes, it is going to be on. Yeah, it will be on, what's it called? I'm blanking. Fight TV. I don't know why I keep blanking. In the comments, I see Gabriel Perez says, where's Kushida? Kushida is expected to sign with WWE. I don't know if he's officially signed yet, but according to Dave Meltzer earlier this week on Twitter, a fan did ask him, hey, where's Kushida? And Meltzer stated, the plan is still for him to come to WWE, but as of right now, he hasn't yet. I don't know if he... Well, basically, Meltzer just said the plan's for him to start in NXT, and they're thinking of debuting him at TakeOver. As of right now, without giving away any spoilers, we have... How many matches do we have for TakeOver? We have all 4 championships on the line. They still got a spot for one more match. So maybe Kushida could be that last non-title match. Because we know what the NXT title match is. We know what the North American title match is. We know what the tag team title match is. And we know what the... Well, we don't know what the women's title match is, but it will be on the show. So... Gabriel Perez says there's 5 matches already official. I don't think there's 5. Based off of the spoilers for tonight's NXT tapings, we only know of the... Unless I missed something, we only know of the... Oh, yep, Gabriel Perez, you're right. I forgot Walter and Pete Dunne. I was only thinking normal NXT. Yeah, you're right. I was only thinking normal NXT. So, with that, maybe they add one more quick match. I don't know who Kushida could go against. Looking at that roster, thinking about it, they don't really have somebody that just needs a match. Everybody that's a key player already has a match. Now, back in the day, they had Sami Zayn and they had Ty Dillinger, who was someone new's coming in, given to one of them. Joe Perez says, any update with the visa situation for New Japan MSG? Last I heard, all A-OK. I heard that there's no issues. So that should be fine. Just looking here. Robert Larry says, WWE has too many sponsors and stockholders to respond. Respond for what do you mean? I don't know. Unless I missed something else you guys are talking about in the chat. Maybe I'm taking that out of context. But you said something about respond. I don't know. D. Tylo says, how long do you think Jay White's IWGP Championship reign is going to last? I think he's going to lose it to Okada April 6th. G1 Supercard MSG. That's what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to lose the title to Okada, who wins the New Japan Cup. I think it's going to be, if it was up to me, I would do Okada Ibushi in the finals. Okada beats Ibushi, goes on, and then it beats Jay White. Because think about it. Who did Jay White beat in the last really big show? At Wrestle Kingdom, Jay White defeated Okada. So Okada's going to get his win back, G1 Supercard. And hey, title's also on the line. So I think that's how that should go. But let's check out some text messages here. Got a couple of them. 979 says, do you think SmackDown will lose a big superstar when Becky wins the title? Yeah, but they may keep Charlotte on SmackDown. I don't know if Charlotte's going to move over to Raw and feud with Becky. I've heard that, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen, or if Charlotte will stay on SmackDown. If Charlotte stays on SmackDown, then they still have a good, decent, top-tier woman to go up against, Asuka and Naomi and them. 646 says, do you CM Punk wrestling? Okay, no. I don't field CM Punk questions like that. Because it's preposterous. He basically said, you see CM Punk going to the WWE Hall of Fame? No. Maybe one day in 20 years. Not anytime soon. Not in this decade. 781 says, during Raw, they showed an advertisement, and it showed Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre versus The Shield on March 25th in Boston. that's a house show, correct? Because they are still advertising that for house shows. I don't believe that's a SmackDown. I could be wrong. Correct me. Let me know. I could be wrong. But that's a house show. They have a couple house shows with that match advertised, so I don't think that means anything at all. I don't think it means anything at all. Because also, that's before WrestleMania and all that still. 985 in the chat says, how about Ricochet and Black versus Revival versus Rude and Gable versus Heavy Machinery for Raw, and then the Usos, Hardys, bar New Day on SmackDown? I mean, that sounds pretty damn great right there. I think it'd be perfect. You do a 4-way and a 4-way? Yeah, 4-way. I think you may have called it right there. Maybe you can, well, I'm trying to think of all the other tag teams on on Raw. The only other tag team you really have on Raw is AOP. Well, I feel like they want to do something with Ryder and Hawkins too. So maybe they put, well, no. I think Heavy Machinery would be the team. I think both of those would be strong matches for sure. Okay. So 781 says that's Monday Night Raw. So it could be the dark match. It could be the post-Raw dark match is what I'm saying. Because it is also advertised for house shows. Doesn't have to actually take place on Raw. But it could take place on the same night, but afterwards. Because they're not going to advertise matches for the actual Raw show or even SmackDown this far out in advance. But they will advertise what could be the dark match. So that's what I think that is all about. So with that, I want to say, hey, if you didn't see it last night or on our social media channels today, we've got a new t-shirt. We got 2 variations of it. A Weapon of Choice t-shirt. We asked you yesterday, what are your favorite weapons for hardcore matches? And I took your suggestions and I put them into this new t-shirt. But it's on TeePublic. It's on our official Pro Wrestling Unlimited TeePublic store. And with that, you don't have to get it as just a t-shirt. You can get it as a t-shirt. You can get it as a hoodie, a tank top. You can get it as a kid's onesie, a pillow, a sticker, a tote bag, a cell phone case. We've got it in the light, the white logo on dark, the black logo on light t-shirts. Let me know what you think in the live chat of this t-shirt. And if you want to head over to the Pro Wrestling Unlimited TeePublic store now and check this shirt out, right now, everything with these 2 designs, either the white design or the black design, are 30% off. If you get it before, I think, the end of tomorrow. So if you want to get it 30% off, you've got to go now before it goes back up to its normal price. So head over there, check the shirt out, check it out in all the different variations you can get it, and help us out. Every little bit helps support us here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited, helps me keep the channel going the way I want to keep it going, keeps it running 7 days a week, 24 hours a day basically. I run on no sleep half the time, but hey, with your guys' support, I can keep this thing going tenfold. So with that, in the text messages, this person says, okay, hold on, let me read this. It's not really worded that well. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that yet. He's asking about some NXT spoiler stuff. So I'm not going to talk about that just yet. Looking at the live chat. Ooh, Razorblade with an unpopular opinion. He says, Finn Balor is kind of trash. Is overrated. Whew. I call that an unpopular opinion. If anybody else wants to call in, take a couple final calls before we talk spoilers. 559-475-8473. Again, 559-475-8473. You can also text your questions in to 510. Where did it go? You can also text your questions in to 510-906-1341. Let's take this call. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, what's up?
How's it going?
I have a few questions right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, who do you think, like, Asuka would face at WrestleMania for the Smackdown Women's title?
I mean, I don't want to get too deep into that because I took like 5 minutes talking about that earlier in the show, but I think it's either going to be a multi-women's match. That's the route I think they're going to go. But if they had to do a singles, I think the best opponent would end up being, as far as putting on a good match, Naomi.
Okay, and being announced the host of WrestleMania.
Pardon?
Like, what was your reaction?
To Alexa Bliss being the host?
Of WrestleMania.
I mean, Alexa Bliss came out and was like, I've got an announcement. The first thing that popped in my head was, she's going to be the host. Like, I knew that's what was going to happen. It was very obvious. And based off of the last host we had, which was a WrestleMania 33 with The New Day, she ain't going to do much. She'll probably come out at the top of the show, cut a promo, and then maybe be seen once or twice more. If you remember with The New Day, they came out at the top of the main card. They welcomed everybody to WrestleMania, and then they were only seen again when they introduced the Hardy Boys. So other than that, I really don't have many, thoughts about it. I could care less if they have a host or not, because typically the host does nothing.
I mean, I'm kind of upset the way she's being used in WWE right now because, I mean, she's cleared to compete, and all she's doing is hosting a show and not, like, fighting on Raw.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Do you want her to actually be... How do I word this? They like her talking. They want to keep her on the show every week. So would you rather at least see her on the show every week? Or, they don't have a match for her because she's not in a featured Mania match, so we don't see her for like a month. What would you prefer? This is my question. Would you rather her do her talk show thing and be the host of WrestleMania, or be like Mickie James, who we see once every 4 weeks?
This could be my prediction. Like, have her be the host of WrestleMania, then after WrestleMania.
Pardon? You cut out there at the end.
Like, this could be my prediction. Like, yeah, like, have her do her talk show.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, have her be the host at WrestleMania.
Right.
Then after WrestleMania, let her fight.
I mean, we don't know if they are or aren't. For all we know, she could win Money in the Bank again. We don't know what the plans are for after WrestleMania. We got to get through WrestleMania first to see where they go from there. I mean, hell, for all we know, her and Mickie could team back up and challenge Bayley and Sasha Banks for the WWE Women's Tag Titles.
And speaking of the the Women's Tag Team titles, who do you think the Boston Hug Connection could face that at WrestleMania? Because it's rumored to be the Iconics because they challenged the Boston Hug Connection.
Oh, I wouldn't call that rumored, because no one's really talking about that rumor-wise. It was just, hey, they challenged. But I think it could be a triple threat with Beth and Natty and Nia and Tamina. They could add the Iconics and make it a four-way, but we'll see. Maybe they do a four-way for all 3 tag titles.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the call. Have a great night. All right. Caller in the air, what's going on?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. I had a question. Do you think that they will do the same thing with Brock, where they swerve where Seth doesn't win, and they... hello?
I mean, anything's possible. Going into this year's WrestleMania, the week leading up, or last year's WrestleMania, the week leading up, it was supposed to be Roman winning the title. I mean, hell, WrestleMania 31 when Seth won the title, I heard like the day before or 2 days before, Roman thought he was still winning, and then Vince flipped everything and said, "Let's do something we haven't done before. Cash in at Mania." And that was a last-minute call, too. So there's always those last-minute calls the weekend of, or sometimes even the day of WrestleMania. So we can always say, hey, I think Seth's going to win. My prediction will be Seth wins the title. But could there be a swerve? Could Vince McMahon say, you know what, I'm going to keep the title on Brock so Roman can win it down the line? Maybe. But that's the thing. WWE likes to change things. Well, Vince, day of sometimes. So there's no way to know if they're going to swerve or not, because it could be a last-minute change.
The reason I ask is because I know that Dana White has said that that Brock Lesnar will be fighting against Daniel Cormier. They just don't know a date. So I was saying, like, do you think that Brock will, like, re-sign with them if he does, if anything, or if Vince wants him to take the title to the UFC? I don't know if that will bring, like, some publicity to the WWE, if anything.
I mean, Dana White hasn't said that in months. Dana White's kind of cooled off of the Brock Lesnar situation. I think, honestly, he's smartened up to what this Brock Lesnar UFC situation is. It's basically Brock using the UFC as leverage to get more money out of Vince McMahon. Him telling Vince, hey, they'll pay me $9 million for one fight. How much you going to pay me to stay with you instead? That's all I think it is. I don't know if Brock's ever going to fight in the UFC. I mean, Cormier's supposed to retire in a couple of months, but at the same time, he wants to fight Brock. He wants to fight John Jones again. I know this is an MMA podcast, but the Brock thing, I really see the Brock thing more of I'm going to say I can go to UFC and see if Brock or if Vince will give me more money because of it. Brock's not a stupid guy. He knows how to work business and as far as get as much money as he can. And it's funny, though, because we hear that Brock Lesnar's not a materialistic type of guy, but at the same time, he likes to get that paycheck.
That's it as far as I have the questions.
All right. Thanks for the call and have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
All right. So with that, it is time for NXT Spoilers. Spoiler alert, commence. Tonight, from Full Sail University, NXT held their NXT TV tapings. We learned a good amount as far as what's going to happen for NXT TakeOver. We learned basically all the title matches except for the women's title match is not 100% clear yet, but that should play out on television. So the first match of the night, I believe it's a dark match, but they could still use it. Usually the first match of an NXT taping is a dark match, but it was Chelsea Green taking on Jessie Elabon, but she was only referred to as Jessie. So I don't know if they dropped the Elabon name or not. Next up, Triple H came out and stated that the NXT Championship is vacated. He was all ready to announce Gargano versus Champa for the title, but then Champa had to have neck surgery. Triple H states that he will still give Gargano an opportunity to become NXT champion at TakeOver, but they need to figure out who his next opponent, not his next opponent, but who his opponent is going to be. He stated that there will be a fatal 5-way match, which actually takes place next on this show tonight. It will be Adam Cole, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, Matt Riddle, and Aleister Black. And also, I don't know why they did this, but I like it. 2 out of 3 falls to TakeOver. The title on the line. So, with a championship opportunity on the line, Adam Cole actually defeated all other 4 men. So the finish apparently came when Ricochet went for a shooting star press on Matt Riddle. This is what I was told from the tapings. Ricochet went for a shooting star press. As he landed the shooting star press and came back up, Adam Cole out of nowhere hit him with a shining wizard and pinned him. Adam Cole will be taking on Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match at TakeOver. The winner will become the brand new NXT champion. So after this fatal 5-way, the Forgotten Sons actually attacked Ricochet and Aleister Black. They will be facing off later in the finals of the Dusty Classic. Punishment Martinez defeated Riddick Moss. We saw the NXT television debut of ACH. He went by his real name, Albert Hardy Jr. He was actually defeated, though, by Humberto Carrillo. The War Raiders squashed 2 guys really, really quickly. They said they wanted more competition, and out came Adrian Jowdy and Cesar Bononi. Squashed them as well. We then saw Forgotten Sons member Jackson Riker take on Oni Lorcan and defeat him. We then had Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair, and this was a theme tonight for the women. It ended in a no contest when Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir all came down. They attacked both Sane and Belair. The rest of the women's roster and NXT officials came out to try and break it up. Io Shirai then came out, hit a huge moonsault from the top rope to the outside on everybody, and then posed in the ring with the NXT Women's Championship, which now this is leading me to believe that it's either going to be one of two matches at TakeOver. It's either going to be Shayna versus Io in a singles match or a fatal four-way match where we see it being Shayna defending against Io, Kairi, and Bianca Belair. We then had Raul Mendoza defeating Brennan Williams. They then did a face-to-face segment between Gargano and Cole. Where is the... Adam Cole had some interesting things to say here. I want to actually pull those up here in my side notes. Where is it? I got it right here. Okay, cool. So, both Gargano and Cole came out. There were dueling chants for Johnny Wrestling and Adam Cole. Cole said he doesn't need the crowd's support. Gargano says he loves the Johnny Wrestling chants. Cole claims that Gargano has a poor win-loss record despite calling himself cute little Johnny Takeover. He said, you're more like Johnny I always fuck this word up. You're more like Johnny Participation. I don't know why I can't say that word sometimes. Participation. Cole then talks about his road to NXT and how he's done everything to succeed. Gargano talks about his road, about working hard despite WWE turning him down, himself getting a spot in the first Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, busting his ass over and over until he was undeniable and got his spot. Cole says, no matter what Gargano thinks, he's going to get beat. And out came the Undisputed Era. Cole said that Triple H may have said that this title match at TakeOver is going to be definitive, but according to Cole, it'll be undisputed. So I thought that was a pretty cool back and forth. I think that'll come off really well on television. Going forward, Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah were taking on the team of Lacey Lane and Kacy Catanzaro. When the end came, when what would happen? Shayna Baszler and her cronies came out again. Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne were like, ain't having none of this. They left the ring while the Horsewomen just beat down Lacey Lane and Kacy Catanzaro. Matt Riddle defeated Kona Reeves. Velveteen Dream watched from the ramp on a couch with two beautiful women. After the match, Dream said that he's going to defend his title against Riddle at TakeOver. We then had the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic where Aleister Black and Ricochet were victorious over the Forgotten Sons. They will now be challenging at TakeOver for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Excuse me. The War Raiders came out after this match to confront Black and Ricochet. Then, the tapings ended with something that's probably not going to air. Black and Ricochet got on the mic and talked about their time in NXT. Ricochet basically said that for him and Aleister Black, this is most likely their final tapings at Full Sail. Black would go on to state that he feels like the two of them will be leaving a piece of their soul here in Full Sail University. He said that this is the best platform to perform on, bar none. Ricochet would also state that this last year he has spent in NXT has been the best entire year, the best one full year of his entire career. Ricochet said they may be leaving NXT, but the NXT roster is so stacked up and down that others will take their place, and that he and Aleister Black are forever NXT. So that's what happened at the very end of the tapings. I don't think that will air. Usually when we see something like that, it doesn't air. It could, but I doubt it. But that was everything that took place at tonight's NXT TV tapings. With that, I want to say thank you all for joining me here tonight, talking some WWE and Ring of Honor and whatnot. Thank you to everybody who called in, everybody that texted in, everybody that was with me in the live chat, and also everybody that watches later. Everybody that watches later here on YouTube or listens later on iTunes. We'll be live maybe this Friday after the Ring of Honor 17th anniversary show. I will let you guys know well ahead of time if I will be doing a live review of that show or not. If not, then we'll see you on Monday, the next time we will be live following Monday Night Raw. Have a good night, guys.